many experiments would be ready to deliver the experimental evidence to confirm the idea of Brout, Englert, and Higgs, a decade of theoretical work would be needed. It would be several decades before technology delivered the instruments that would eventually crack the enigma. Research and development for the LHC began in the mid-1980s, while experimental collaborations started to form in the early 90s. The project was fully approved by 1996, and construction began soon after. By 2008, the machine was ready to go, and under the eyes of the global media, a beam of particles was circulated for the first time on 10 September 2008. It was a day of great excitement at CERN. "Just another day at the office, eh?" said LHC project leader Lynn Evans as I headed for home at the end of the day. But the elation was short-lived. Just 9 days later, the LHC suffered a setback from which it would take a year to recover. A helium leak led to extensive damage to the machine. Meanwhile, at Fermilab in the United States, another remarkable particle collider, the Tevatron, a venerable machine first switched on in 1985, was limbering up for one last push to discover the particle that had come to be known as the Higgs. Discovering the Higgs particle would bring confirmation that Brout, Englert, and Higgs were right. The race was on. Although particle theory was very clear that a mechanism for mass was needed and would have to appear at the particle collision energies of the LHC, there was one key feature of the Higgs that it did not predict: the particle's mass. It could well be in range of the Tevatron. Nobody knew. But if the Higgs existed at all, it would definitely be in range of the LHC. The currencies of particle physics are mass and energy, with the exchange rate being the speed of light squared. That's what Einstein's famous equation E=mc² tells us, and it's why particle accelerators concentrate energy in a tiny space, converting it to mass in the form of new particles. The higher the energy of the accelerator, the higher the mass of the particles that can be produced, and the LHC was designed for a collision energy some 7 times higher than that of the Tevatron. By the end of 2009, the LHC was back in the race, and with a vengeance. Records rapidly fell, and on 30 March 2010, data collection began. The days of sudden realizations leading to eureka moments in fundamental physics research are long gone. In modern particle physics research, discovery often comes through a painstaking analysis of vast quantities of data, looking for subtle signals that known physics can't explain. Like everything else in modern research, eureka requires patience. Data came rolling in fast as the LHC performed better and better, but nobody was looking at what the data was saying. The main analyses run shielded from the view of human eyes until the time is deemed right to take a look. The reason that scientists do this is that humans are very good at seeing things that aren't really there, and then skewing their interpretations to match their preconceptions. Algorithms know no such bias, and can be trusted to conduct the analyses free from prejudice. Nervous eyes were scanning the horizon for hints of what might be happening across the Atlantic at Fermilab, but all was quiet there as well. By spring 2011, combined analyses from CERN and Fermilab had shown where the Higgs particle was not. They had narrowed down the range of masses it could have to 114 to 157 gigaelectron-volts, with a small window up to 185 gigaelectron-volts. A GeV, or gigaelectron-volt, is a unit of mass used in particle physics. In everyday terms, it's tiny. There are over 500 billion trillion GeVs in 1 gram. But in the world of fundamental particles, the Higgs, if it existed at all, would be a very heavy thing. To put it in context, the basic building blocks of atomic nuclei, protons and neutrons, weigh in at just about 1 gigaelectron-volt, and by the time we reach 185 gigaelectron-volts, we're looking at atoms of heavy metals like tungsten. In 2011, the Higgs was running out of places to hide, and everyone in the global particle physics community knew that representatives of the 2 LHC experiments spearheading the search, named ATLAS and CMS,